Good morning, welcome back. It's me, Ron, your local resident bug. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got a couple things to go over, as well as a slightly different setup from last time, if you can believe it. So first and foremost, let's talk about the setup. I'm in the process of rearranging my stuff to make sure that everything in my apartment looks nice. Oh, my gravy. Excuse me, my apologies. I'm in the process of rearranging my stuff to make sure that my apartment looks nice, and so I don't feel confident in turning on my webcam right now. Nannaclir finally came out, and it is probably my most, expected deck, and so I wanted to make a deck profile, so there's that. Second thing, well, I haven't been posting much, and you can probably see that. It's the holiday season, and I work in food service, so I am just exceptionally busy, so if I have anyone who was, waiting for the next upload, here it is. I'm sorry, but probably until January I'll be slow to post, or way too late to post anything, so I apologize about that in advance. Lastly, I have another premium discussion video that I want to bring up because there was some stuff in the Vanguard community about premium, so just a heads up there. That's planned and I'm working on it. It's going to be more scripted than anything because I want to be able to write my thoughts down before I go in and talk all willy-nilly and lose my mind. So, yeah. So without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. Of course, as you may see, I appear to be a pretty big fan of Nannaclir. It doesn't stop at just Nannaclir. I also like Ruka. On the rest of the deck, I have Ruka sleeves, as well as the Nannaclir/Ruka deck box. So, probably my second favorite deck next to Lascaria now. It plays very fun, and I would like to consider this to be the next big potential deck, where it's got so much going for it that it could very easily be meta or hop right in and or back out of the meta, kind of like Levi-Dross did. I think Levi-Dross is still a pretty solid meta deck, but that's not what we're here for. So first and foremost, grab your energy charger, your energy markers, and today, your plant tokens. Yes, you will need some, because we're going to hop right into the deck profile. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Kablooey. We are... I'm sorry, I can't take this thing seriously. We are running in our ride deck. One Who Arrived at Paradise, Lucent. He's so fat. I love him. It's your standard starter. You don't need the Paradise cards in specific for your ride deck, but the ride line is pretty good, and also it looks awesome, so yeah, just run it. For our grade 1, we are running One Who Arrived at Paradise, Yotil, who is like a butterfly fox thing, or dragonfly fox. It's beautiful. When it's rode upon by the grade 2, call this card to rearguard circle, soul charge 1. Then continuous rearguard circle if your world is stray card and this unit gets power plus 5k. This is really good against decks that don't retire or bind your field, so, it's a 13k booster, it's pretty solid. You only run the one copy, so no big fuss. Oh, my cat's going off. Yes, baby. You're fine. I love you. But the grade 2, I can't say the same. We are running more copies of the grade 2, and we'll understand why when I get into the grade 3. But just a heads up, you'll be running more copies of this grade 2. Until the next set comes out when the deck gets more support. So you've got One Who Arrived at Paradise, Noctoran. When this unit is rode upon by a grade 3 with Nannaclir in its card name, you may call this card to rearguard circle. If you call the card, choose up to one card from your drop zone, put it to your soul. If you did not call a card, draw a card. Then continues rearguard circle if your world is stray guard and this unit gets boost and power plus 5k. So it is a better booster than the grade 1. It's a 15k booster. Of course, it needs to see your world be Stray Garden to be able to boost, but you know, against that retire heavy matchup, being able to call it from your soul and put something from your drop zone to your soul, really good. But in the not so retire heavy matchups, the draw one is also really good because of the rest of the deck and how it functions. So there's a lot to this deck about calling, and you will mill through your deck, and it feels good. So without further ado, we've got the grade 3, One Who Guides Toward Paradise, Nannaclir. This art is absolutely gorgeous, probably one of my favorites in the entire card game. I love both of their style, I love everything about them. I traded in a bunch of my, I guess I want to say useless trades, because I live in an area that is low on Vanguard players, so I just made sure that it happened, and so here we are. So she's got 3 abilities when continuous. During your turn, if you have 3 or more rearguards with One Who Arrived at Paradise in their card names, your world becomes Stray Garden, and this unit gets triple drive. So that's why it's important for these guys. They need that keyword to gain their abilities, which is why you need more One Who Arrived at Paradise, which is why we're running more of him until the next wave of support when we get more Ones Who Arrived at Paradise. Or Paradise cards, as we just try to call them to like shorten it, because that's a long title. But triple drive, and then you get the keyword. Then act Vanguard Circle once per turn. Energy Blast 3, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 card from among them. Reveal it. Call it to Rearguard Circle if it's a unit card. Put it to your hand if it is specifically a Bloom in Paradise. And I feel really bad for butchering this because I practiced it before. A Bloom in Paradise. Sade Milfalce. Shuffle the deck. If you call the unit with One Who Arrived at Paradise in its card name, that unit gets power plus 5k until end of turn. So, my cat wants in the window. I'm going to let her in real quick. Go ahead. Go on. Go in the window. Yep. You're a good cat. So, it gets you your order from the top 5 for an Energy Blast or Field. So, like I said, we're going to be going through the deck pretty quickly. Then lastly, Auto Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks, Counterblast 1, choose one of your rearguards and stand it. Super, uber, easy abilities. So it's got field building. Here, off of the ride line, you've got free field or draw, free field, triple drive, and multi-attack. So this deck has a lot going for it. Pretty exciting. Getting into the rest of the deck, we're running 3 Persona Ride copies. I didn't get the rest of my my silver rares, so no worries. It's really pretty, and I will eventually get them, but I wanted to get this out before I get busy and don't have the free time, so yay. Then we're running 4 copies of the Order Sade Mil Falce. This card is gorgeous. The frame rare was like $5, and I know that's like not the cheapest, but also, you know, when you're blinging out your favorite deck or one of your favorite decks, it's worth it. It's got a couple abilities, and it's a long brick of text, so bear with me. Play this if you have a Vanguard with Nannaclir in its card name. Perform one of the following. Choose a card with Paradise in its card name from your drop zone and call it to Rearguard Circle. Or choose one of your rearguards with Paradise in its card name. Until end of turn, it gets auto Rearguard Circle once per turn when this unit stands. If your world is Stray Garden, this unit gets critical +1 until end of turn and 5k. So, against the retire heavy matchups, really good because it's field, back to field. And against the non-retire heavy matchups, it's power, it's critical, really strong. What's up, guys? Then, a second ability, Auto. When this card is revealed from the deck and put into the hand by the ability of your card with Paradise in its card name, reveal this card from hand and draw a card. So, that's for your Vanguard, because she has Guides Toward Paradise, as well as future support cards that'll be searching your deck for the Order or other cards, as well as one other card, which we'll get into because it's a grade 2. So, that being said, really strong Order. You know, it helps you push crits for game. It helps you get field back to continue the game. It's really strong. So getting into the grade 2s, I want to say this is probably the most stacked part of the deck. We've got Bloom. One Who Arrived at Paradise, Leaves Feathered Dragon. Really, really chunky little guy. I love him. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle, other than during the battle phase, counterblast 1, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from among them, and reveal it. Call it to rearguard circle if it's a unit card, put it to your hand if it is Sade Meal Felche. Shuffle the deck. If your world is Stray Garden, look at 7 cards instead of 3 cards. So you always want to make sure this is the 3rd Paradise card you have on field, because holy crap, that's a lot. Top 7 as opposed to top 3 is huge, but if you need top 3 because you need to build a board, you still get top 3, so it's pretty good. Of course, you see you can put the order to hand, reveal the order for its ability, draw a card, and then suddenly you've got the order. It's awesome. Then, when this unit attacks, if your world is Stray Garden, Soul Blast 1, this unit gets power plus 10k until end of battle. So, 20k attacker, helps build field, helps find your order, pretty damn strong. So then we've got 4 copies of One Who Arrived at Paradise, Weaselin. Honestly, he's probably one of my favorite cards in this deck. He is so damn cute. Look at this little freak. My baby. He's got 2 abilities. Continuous Rearguard Circle / Guardian Circle. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Nannaclir in its card name, and your world is Stray Garden, this unit gets power plus 5k. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Nannaclir in its card name, and your world is not Stray Garden, i.e. not your turn, this unit gets shield plus 5k. So 10k shield, pretty solid, right? It's a 15k attacker, 10k intercept / 10k shield, pretty good. Auto Rearguard Circle at the end of your turn. If your world is Stray Garden, put this unit into Soul and draw a card. So it's also Inlet Pulse, in a sense. It's really freakishly good. So we're running 2 more Noctoran, like I said. I'm not going to go over his ability again. Then I'm running 3 copies of Sylvan Horn Beast. What is that, Layuka? Yeah, I'm going to just call it Layuka. This card is just the, tech that I personally run to try and beef up the deck and do more for that one final kill turn, because you're trying to kill, and so you need to be able to push. Act Rearguard Circle, retire this unit, choose one of your rearguards, it gets plus 10k until end of turn. So basically, on your kill turn, if you can find 2 of these, you retire 2 of them, buff up something like this. So now this is a 10, 20, 30, 40, Persona Ride 50, boost 58, etc. If you called it off of Nannaclir, plus 5k, that's 63. If you gave it the order, that's 68. And then it restands with a crit. So, you're just trying to push those big numbers if you can, so this card is pretty important. It's only as important as you really make it to be, but considering the fact that this deck doesn't push for kills super easily, I've chosen to make it pretty important. And then I'm running 1 copy of, this is the first time I'm really reading this card name, so bear with me, Mutual Feelings Maiden, Pence. Not to be mistaken with American politician. Was it Governor Pence? I don't care. Vice President Pence. That guy existed. It is the ace unit. You are only allowed to run 1 copy in your deck. That is why it is so fucking green. It's got 2 abilities. Unique skill, auto when it's placed on rearguard circle, other than during the battle phase. This unit gets power plus 5k. So 15k. Attacker. Then you can Energy Blast 3, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card from among them, discard it, shuffle the deck. Choose up to 1 card with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from your drop zone, call it to rearguard circle. You only get to use your unique skill once per fight, so usually I use it to call him for my kill turn, call this down, it's going to be its own 20k attacker, so it's bigger than this, and it doesn't have to cost a soul like that. Call this out, power that up, etc., Sorry, I just shook the camera. Then, when this unit attacks, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, unit gets plus 5k. If your drop zone is 10 or more cards, it gets another 5k. So it can be 25 on its own. Solid card, really good for pushing for game. When you get to that late stage of the game, you'll most likely see it and be able to utilize it some way or another. And lastly, Protection Twincast as our Regalis piece of choice. Choose one of your units being attacked, plus 10k until end of battle. That's the Blitz Order ability. Secondary ability, auto ability can be resolved even if you have resolved a Regalis piece ability this fight. Drop zone, when your unit is attacked, remove this card from your drop zone, choose one of your units being attacked. It gets plus 5k until the end of the battle for each grade of that unit. Really, really, really good defensive utility. I don't think it's going to be going anywhere unless this deck gets like stacked rear guards that you want to be searching out with your other stuff. The other order that you could potentially run, I forget what it is, but it's the one that countercharges. You could run that one, and I'm only saying that because there's no countercharger in the deck yet. So that's it for the grade 2s. On to the grade 1s. So firstly, we got 4 copies of the lettuce. One who arrived at paradise, Furi lettuce. Yep, he's a lettuce. It's a lettuce. They're a lettuce. 2 abilities. Act. Hello. Rearguard circle. Retire this unit. Choose an Bloom of Paradise Sade Meal Felche from your drop. It gets continuous. This card can be played from the drop when it's played and put into drop zone. Put it on the bottom of your deck instead until end of turn. So basically you get to play your orders from the drop zone if you retire this from your field. Again, this usually comes up in non-retire heavy meta, or not metas, but like fights, because it'll already be on your field. You'll see another one off of your stuff, and you'll just like, okay, well, I'll use my order for my drop zone and keep the order in hand to PG with, or something like that. You know, there's a good couple of different ways you could go about it. But then auto back row, once per turn, when your unit in the same column as this unit stands by a card's ability, if your world is Stray Garden, stand this unit. So, like I said, you beef this up, that, what was it, 68k? You can do it twice. The first time without a crit, second time with a crit. It's really, really strong. And then I'm very sorry to do this, but I am, in fact, running 4 copies of Harvest Elf. This card is just so damn good. It's hard to not run in this deck when you need to have some early aggression, which it can help with, as well as have some draw, which it helps with. So when it's placed on Rearguard Circle from hand, other than during your battle phase, Soul Blast 1, call a plant token. Back row Rearguard Circle continuous. If your opponent's Vanguard's grade is 3 or greater, this unit gets power plus 5k. And lastly, at the end of the battle, this unit boosted, retire 2 rearguards in the same column as this unit, and draw a card. Now, unfortunately, that means 2 of your rearguards. So, you know, if you have this set up and your opponent has 1 set up over here, you can't just be like, I retire these 2 and draw a card. You have to retire 2 of your own rearguards. Don't let anyone fool you into thinking that you can. So then you're running 3 PGs and a 4th PG. I just run this Elementaria because it's shinier. Realistically, you should run the other one because this one, play this with discard card from hand if you do not have any cards in your crest zone other than Energy Generator. And then if your opponent's crest zone has a card other than Energy Generator, this ability can be played without paying the cost. Basically, the other one just states that if they are grade 4. And so, it's better. But also just be aware that you have triple drive, so it can be, or it can work, the other one can work very easily against you, so you probably want to run the other one. I just like the shiny, so don't mind me. Getting into triggers, let's blast this out. Bless Favor. 3 crit. 4 more crit. 4 heal. 4 front. Wow. We did it. So then the last thing I want to do is I just want to go over a couple card recommendations. There's a couple cards in here that are quite pricey, so if you can't afford them, or you would look to your previous collection, before you purchase 4 copies of Harvest Elf, because that's a newer card, you know, here's a couple recommendations. So of course, the ever-present Inlet Pulse. This deck gets 4 attacks per turn, and it uses a good bit of soul, so you wouldn't complain about having more soul and more draw. It just doesn't gain power, which is what you're looking for. I'm gonna sneeze, give me 1 second. But yeah, Inlet Pulse, everybody. Yeah. Then we've got Emperor Fang Dragon Growlithe. This card is a 5k shield and interceptor, grade 3. With when placed, you can Energy Blast 3, gain 5k. If your opponent cannot intercept for the battle that this unit attacks, then if your damage zone has 4 or more cards, or you Persona Road, it gets another 5k, and you choose an order from your drop zone, put it to your hand. This card can help with order retention, being able to play it if you don't see your lettuce, if you don't see it off your top 5, off your top 7, etc. It's good. It could be worse, it could be better, etc. Hurtful Pompolideo. This card is actually really good for multi-attack metas. You don't get the first ability, but the second ability, auto front row rear guard circle. When your Vanguard is attacked by your opponent's rear guard, retire this unit. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards, decrease that unit's power by this unit's original power until the end of turn. So, pretty solid. If you're not running Harvest Elf, where you need to retire itself and the thing in front of it, this card can be better. But if you're running Harvest Elf, definitely wouldn't recommend. Then we've got, my gravy, this card's stupid name. Sea Rainbow Dragon Orinoxo? Man, that's rough. It is your Persona Shield ticket card. It's a 15k attacker. It's alright. It could be worse. Then we've got Aspronia and Saphira. This card is highly run in Levy Dross for its ability to see the future. It's really good, and I wouldn't recommend not running it. But I also would rather there be countercharge so that you don't use this card's ability for recursion to then have, like a Counterblast 3 per turn? Rough. RIP. Sea Rumble Brave Shooter, it can Energy Blast 3 for its costs. You're only Energy Blasting 3 once per turn, so you get, basically, if you're going second, 2 free uses out of it. But I like to have that for my Ace unit, so just kind of do with that what you will. Inverse Ripper Dragon. This double rare is interesting. When it attacks a Vanguard, if you Persona Road this turn until the end of the battle, plus 10k. Then, if your unit was placed on rearguard circle from your drop zone, so if you use the order, put a card with the same card name as this unit from your hand into soul, crit becomes 2. So it's a 20k crit 2 attacker. Pretty solid. It could be worse, it could be better. That's all I can really say about it, you know? It's a good attacker if you don't have other stuff, but you have the rest of the deck. It's a good... It is a solid rearguard, but you have to kind of like remember to get that crit. You're only getting it if you use the order to get cards from your drop zone instead, or you run something like this, or the other, future support. Diantha, Counterblast 1, call a card from your drop zone to rearguard circle, or grade 1 or less, grade 3 or less card from your drop zone. My bad. When placed from hand, you can call something from your drop zone to your field. It's more Counterblast. I wouldn't really recommend it because Counterblast is very rough in this deck. And then lastly, Burrow Mushrooms. If you really want to... If you know your meta and you know that, your area is weak to early game rush, I would heavily recommend running, take some cards out and run a heavy... or like plant token build. I'm not even joking. The plant token build can really rush early, but like at that point where you're not just playing Claudine. Claudine's a good deck. It could be worse, it could be better type deck. But yeah, I think that is everything that I have to say about this deck. So, final thoughts. This deck has some solid rush potential. It's got some really good kill potential. Could be way better at kill potential, but, it only has its first wave of support for now. So, it'll just get better as time goes on. Just like all the other decks do. I mean, freaking Weisruger just got a new card in this wave of support, which is like the third wave of support for it. The third Mythish. That makes it like actually quite a competitive deck. I can't say it's a perfect deck because I don't think there's a perfect deck in Vanguard, but it's really, really good. So, with more time, I think this deck will get more love, more support, because it looks like the next Vanguard arc of the anime is going to follow Ruka, Kage, and more of those characters, so we'll get more support in the future and continue on. So that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for being patient with me. If you were waiting for videos, I apologize. I will continue to try and push them out at a leisurely rate because I cannot keep up. I don't have the free time to keep up with posting weekly or anything like that. So I'll keep doing me, you keep doing you, and keep playing Vanguard. Enjoy yourself and don't let others tell you how to feel. So thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.